When Dragon Ball Daima aired its final episode on February 28, 2025, fans didn't just say goodbye to the latest chapter in the Dragon Ball saga. They experienced the last anime personally crafted by series creator Akira Toriyama. And what they got wasn't just another spin-off. It was proof of something fans had always suspected, but rarely had the chance to see. Toriyama, at his core, was never just a battle manga artist. He was a world builder, a comedian, a storyteller who loved adventure more than power levels. And Daima was his final statement on what Dragon Ball was always meant to be.
Let's start with the scope of his involvement. Daima wasn't a project where Toriyama simply approved designs or reviewed scripts. According to executive producer Akio Ioku, this was the project where Toriyama-sensei was the most involved. He created the entire story. He designed nearly all the characters, from the barflies in early episodes to the bizarre monsters populating the demon realm. He even designed the mechanical elements, including the warp ship used to travel between dimensions, a goldfish-shaped machine that Ioku called something only Toriyama-sensei could have imagined. To put that in perspective, Toriyama had rarely been this involved with the anime side of the franchise. For many of the classic 90s-era Dragon Ball films, he only provided character designs. For Dragon Ball GT, he had almost nothing to do with it. He was burnt out and left the story and all to Toei. For Dragon Ball Super, he was more involved, but still largely content to come up with ideas for stories and characters and pass them along to his successor, Toyotaro. But Daima was different. It was his project, his vision, his final gift. The scope of that vision is staggering. Toriyama conceptualized the entire demon realm from scratch, 3 distinct realms, each with its own unique form, history, and origin. He created the lore, the landscapes, the rules of the world. Honestly, there were fewer parts that he didn't work on, Ioku said. This wasn't a writer approving someone else's work. This was a creator building a world from the ground up, piece by piece, at 68 years old. Now, here's where the genius part comes in. Toriyama wasn't just creating a new setting. He was creating a setting that felt like Dragon Ball. And that's harder than it sounds. Co-director Yoshitaka Yashima referred to this as the Dragon Ball-ness that only Toriyama could capture. The demon realm could have been a hellish land of monsters, leaning into horror and darkness. That would have been the easy, predictable route. Instead, Toriyama made it oddly familiar, as co-director Aya Komaki put it. A place filled with whimsy, humor, and that sense of adventure that defined the original Dragon Ball.
That's the thing about Toriyama's genius. He understood that Dragon Ball was never about the darkness. It was about the joy, the wonder, the gag, the absurdity. Toriyama was always a comedian at heart. He got his start with Dr. Slump, a juvenile gag comedy about a robot girl who could split the earth in half with a punch. And when he started Dragon Ball, he didn't plan for it to become the most famous battle shonen of all time. That happened by happenstance. Editors pushed for more action, more drama, more stakes. Daima was Toriyama pushing back against all of that. It was his chance to set the record straight. He turned Goku into a child. He gave him back his power pole. He sent him on a road trip through a bizarre new world with a group of misfits. There were jokes, potty humor, running gags, and yes, there were fights, spectacular ones. But they weren't the point. The adventure was the point.
The series was shaped slowly, over 6 years, with each revision carefully considered. We didn't start with a set release date, Ioku said. We just worked and reworked it until it came together naturally. It took a long time, but it was the right way to honor his vision. That patience is remarkable. Toriyama was creating his final work not for a broadcast deadline or a programming slot, but because he wanted to, because he was excited, because he was having fun. And that excitement shows. The humor, the surprises, the characters, the sense of wonder, all of it carries his unmistakable touch.
Even the parts that don't work perfectly still feel distinctly Toriyama. The Gendarmerie Force? Painfully Toriyama. The Majin Brothers? Wonderful characters no one else could have created. Toriyama designed them himself, and you can feel his personality in every awkward, hilarious, unpredictable moment.
But let's talk about the lore. Because Daima didn't just tell a new story, it rewrote the old one. In Daima, Toriyama revealed that the Namekians didn't originate from Namek, they came from the demon realm. That the Kais, Glint, also originated from the demon realm. That Majin Buu was created by a sorcerer named Marba, not Babidi. These were massive retcons, and Toriyama did them casually, as if he had always known. Because in a way, he had. The demon realm was his creation. He just never had a chance to explore it. Daima was that chance, and he took it. Now, here's the part that's hardest for some fans to accept. Daima contradicts Dragon Ball Super. It introduced Vegeta's Super Saiyan 3 and Goku's Super Saiyan 4, forms never mentioned in Super. It ignored Shin and Kibito's fusion status. It played fast and loose with the timeline. And Toriyama didn't care, because canon was never his priority. His priority was the story, the adventure, the fun. As one writer put it, Dragon Ball's charm has always been watching Toriyama playing with his ensemble of spiky-haired toys in a series of what-if scenarios. Daima was his final play session. The series may never return to its lore, but it established a foundation that will inspire countless fans, games, and future stories. Toriyama's genius wasn't in creating a flawless, consistent universe. It was in creating a universe that felt alive, one that could surprise you, one that made you laugh, one that made you feel like a kid again. In the end, Daima is a love letter, a final gift from a creator who had spent 40 years building a world that inspired generations. It's the version of Dragon Ball Toriyama would have made if he could start all over again. A world full of adventure, humor, and imagination. He gave us the gold hair and the planet-destroying battles, but he also gave us something more important. A reminder that the joy was always in the journey. Not the power level, the journey. That's why Daima proves Akira Toriyama was a genius. Not because of Super Saiyan 4, not because of the transformations, because he knew what Dragon Ball was really about, and he gave it to us one last time.
Now I want to hear from you. What was your favorite moment from Dragon Ball Daima? Did the retcons bother you, or did you appreciate Toriyama's final vision? Drop your take in the comments below. I read every single reply. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because we're just getting started with the deep dives.